In 2025, Taiko Project marks a major milestone: 25 years of performing, creating, and expanding the possibilities of American taiko. To commemorate this anniversary, Taiko Project enters the recording studio once again to create our fourth album, titled 25. We first hit the studio in February 2025, but have actually been deep in production talks since spring of last year. The capturing, recording, and processing of the tracks for this album were led by our audio engineers, Jen Bake and Glenn Surovich.
My name is Glenn Surovich. I'm an audio engineer and record producer. This is the 25th anniversary of Taiko Project. So I feel like this album has some importance just to commemorate 25 years of Taiko Project. And so it's important to document your evolution over time. And so I think this definitely captures, if you've listened to their first album and listen to the subsequent albums afterwards, this will be the fourth record, and so you can kind of see their evolution as an organization. I feel very fortunate to have been able to record and work with them on every one of those records, and so this was our fourth record together.
With Glenn and Jen at the helm, our time in the studio was efficient and streamlined. Even still, the pressure to deliver a perfect take was, at times, intense.
Okay. We gotta lock it.
Yep. I'm locking.
Between shows, concerts, and tours, we've been carving out time to rehearse and get everything ready for this album. Without the energy of a live audience, the focus turns inward toward detail, texture, and storytelling through sound. You have to nail every note, and we're on a schedule. This is where guide tracks are handy. They're basically pre-recorded audio that helps us stay locked in. It's got the tempo, a click, and a simplified version of a song. When recording, we listened to the guide track in our headphones as we played along, so we could stay synced up, even when recording parts separately. Using the guide track as a reference ensures what we're recording lines up exactly how we want it. The actual capturing of the taiko sound comes with its own set of challenges.
Because these drums were they're I don't know, thousands of years old. Like, they were meant to be played out in the open. They weren't thinking about necessarily how would we record these things, or how can we accurately capture these drums in a way where it could be listened back to on audio. Over time, I kind of started to understand like how these drums respond in certain environments. And so obviously, when you guys play, or Taiko Project plays in theaters, it sounds really good in theater because you're listening to the drum in an acoustic space. But when you try to record those drums in a studio, and you try to put a mic close, and then maybe you get a couple of room mics, it just doesn't have that same kind of capture or essence. So I, like, over time, experimenting and trying different things, I feel like I finally kind of understand, like, okay, these, you have to take into consideration the room that these drums are played in order to capture accurately the way that they sound. And Taiko Project has so many different kinds of drums, you know, that it becomes not just challenging, but you as an artist, as an engineer or producer, you wanna try to be creative in that sense too, to capture. You have the Ohira and the Chudaiko and the Shime. There's like 3 very different sounding drums. And then also you gotta take into consideration the performers. You guys, there's like 20 different members, and each and every one of them plays a drum very differently. It could be the same drum, but they hit the drum differently, and that has a different effect and on how it sounds. So yeah, that's challenging.
Oh yeah, this is Yamachan Bear. You may have seen him throughout this video and on our Instagram. He's been with us through several album recordings and offers cuddles through the whole process. He makes Moz happy. Two days in the studio, 4 additional overdub sessions, and hundreds of files later, the recording part of the album has finished. Come celebrate 25 years of Taiko Project at our summer concert and album release party on July 19th, 2025 at the Music Center's Walt Disney Concert Hall. We'll see you there.